We back. Them brothers from Inglewood podcast once again coming to you live and direct in the studios, and can't wait to introduce another hot topic. But before I do, I want to throw it to Charley Mack and let him holler at you.
How you guys doing out there? We back again. Gonna give it to you raw and uncut. It's kind of what we do in the studio. We talk about real deal, real things. But before we do, we don't own the rights to this music. We're gonna show groove to it.
Yes, sir.
Put them seatbelts on, guys. Fasten them real tight. We about to get to speed. Let's get it going.
All right. Well said. It's interesting that we can share this because it's relatable, and I think it's relevant for where we are at this present time. And so I just want to introduce a topic that we'll discuss today, which is
when you lose your way.
Yeah. When you lose your way. 'Cause so many of us have.
Yes.
And I think, to kind of launch from that, so many experiences run through my mind and testimonies that I have pertaining to when I got off track. Because I have gotten off track.
Yes, sir.
More than once.
Yes, sir.
At a young age, at a middle age, and even at my age that I am now. And they were, learning experiences. But I think, before, I kind of touch on some of those things, the flip side is some people don't make it back.
Never.
And I think we'll talk about some of those experiences, later in the show. But, from my, personal experience, there has been times when I was just off track, man, just, trying to figure it out. In my earlier years, there was situations when we were, growing up together, all male siblings, single mom, and we faced many hardships.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes it proved to be consequential, meaning we had to come off of teams because we had to move.
Yes, sir.
Or we had to find new friends because we had to move, and and there was you make decisions and choices at such a young age. They weren't always good choices.
Exactly.
I can just kind of think of some poor decisions that I made that it back then they felt horrible.
Yeah.
And a lot of my experiences were academically. When I was in middle school, it all started in 7th grade. Pretty much I was decent in 7th grade, but seemed like 8th grade it
went all downhill for you.
Oh man, it was
wasn't
just,
cracking.
Oh no,
wasn't cracking, player.
It was so.
Oh come on, player. It was cracking, player.
It was so difficult just to maintain a C average, and I don't know why I just did not have the discipline to do what I needed to do in a timely manner.
Right.
It wasn't that the work was hard. It wasn't that I had learning disabilities.
You just lost your way.
Bro, I just lost my way.
Yeah.
And it was critical, man. So I would say, and I'll just start with that. I had academic issues early, man.
Did you really?
Oh man, just academic. It was either in citizenship or or it was just the actual grade. I'm getting these subpar grades because I was ditching, man. I was, one of the homies.
Wow.
You remember Lil Goo? Keith? That was my partner, man.
No, you wasn't running around with Lil Goo.
I was running around with Lil Goo.
Oh, man, he's
good dude, man.
Yeah.
Unassuming.
Yeah.
He was fearless too,
but
bro.
He wasn't loving school.
No, he wasn't. He's the one that
loving school.
He's the one that introduced me to ditching. Keith.
Henry Macias turned me out.
And when that dude introduced me to ditching it was the I'll never forget, second semester of 7th grade.
Wow.
I was hooked, man. I was following this guy.
Serious?
Man, we would be at Thrifties,
Oh,
getting
man.
ice cream.
Oh,
man, we would just be at Pioneer Chicken, bro. Shout out to Keith. I hear he's living in Texas now, and always
good.
been a solid brother.
Yeah.
That was my guy, man.
No, shout out to Pioneer Chicken.
Yeah.
I can say
Right
that
there
because
on
they're not
Crenshaw.
around no more.
Right there on Crenshaw.
OJ owned that one.
Did he?
I know he. Well, I know.
Yeah, I know he owned some.
I think he had a few. The one that was up on San Vicente. I
Okay.
think that one was his.
Okay.
I think he had another one in Culver City. I mean, I'm
Okay.
just, you know,
Yeah.
I
I do
just heard, it was
remember-
just rumors, but I think OJ
I do
owned a few
remember
of
him
them.
having,
he had
having a few of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just the start, and I'll just say that was a hurdle for me.
Okay.
Poor decision making.
Okay.
Academically.
Wow.
So, I'll ask you the question. Basically, when did it start for you?
You know, I'm just speaking in general in terms of just people losing their way, and some people lose their way on a small scale, and some people lose their way on a gigantic scale. And so when I think about losing your way, for me it goes more than scholastics. I mean, we
Okay.
all kind of get off track in our lives when we're youth and we're young, and same. I have a similar story. Same thing. Henry Mancias had me ditching so bad, man. I'm up at Palisades and running around with him. He had the nice Volkswagen. He's smoking
Yeah.
the BDs,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, damn,
Henry,
Henry, this dude
yeah.
had me. That was my boy though.
Yeah.
That was my guy, Henry Mancias. Shout out to Henry. But anyway,
Who do you have a baby by?
I think he
Lisa,
had a baby. Lisa
or,
Buchanan.
or
Lisa.
Caroline.
Lisa.
Okay.
I think he had a baby by Lisa.
Okay.
It's not Caroline. It's Lisa.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Fresh dude, man.
Yeah.
That was a fresh dude.
Yeah, that was my boy.
Yeah.
He had me, man. That dude had me so gone, man. I'm like, come on, Henry, man. I missed the whole senior year and made a choice to go back and graduate in your class.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, when I think of losing your way, I think of it on a grandiose, a bigger scale.
Okay.
And I know people, and you know people, and we have friends and family members who have lost their way, and they've been able to get back. We also have friends and family members who's lost their way and didn't make it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I thought about the topic of losing your way, I was thinking more on a huger scale.
Okay. Okay.
People lose their way, and I'm sure somebody's out there listening and viewing, but there's people that lost their way to drug addiction.
Yeah.
And they were lost for a couple of years, but by the grace of God, they was able to get back on track.
Yeah.
And shape that drug addiction and say, hey, this was me in this past life.
Yeah.
But this is me now.
I got you.
So that's what I talk about when you say losing your way.
Yeah.
Some people never make it back. I know, resting in peace, we got an uncle we love to death. That was, he that was his choice, and he wanted to do that until, the day he died. But that was his choice.
Yeah.
He kind of lost his way when he was a young youth, but he never got a chance to get back on track.
Yeah.
So some people can get back on, and some people can't.
Wow.
And that's how it is, and I know people that's been hooked
Same
on
thing
drugs.
with Dad.
Yeah, he never he lost his way as a young teen, and he never got back on track.
No.
So that's what I talk about when you lose your way.
I got you.
On a scale like that, and not just drugs. It could be other addictions. It could be someone that's violent.
Yeah.
You could start this when you're a young man and end up killing somebody.
Yeah.
Or end up killing your spouse, or whatever the case may be. Or you can start as a young man and do this stuff for 5-10 years, and somehow you get back on track and you get some help and you get some counseling, and you say, man, I'll never in my life be violent like that again.
Gotcha.
So we all lose our way in some sort of scale.
Yeah.
But the key is, are we gonna get back?
I got you.
That's
That's profound.
Are we gonna get back?
Right. That's profound.
Yeah.
How you explained it, because now I'm looking at my academic problems,
Right.
which were my choice.
Right.
I didn't have any disabilities. I was just being, a bonehead. And then I'm looking at the bigger scope, which is like you're saying, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, violence, temper. You know, some people have like a temper problem, but they never go to counseling for it. They never
prostitution.
Prostitution.
We went to school with somebody who was, gorgeous, and lost her way, but I think she made her way back. You know, so I mean,
and it was a number of people. You knew guys who was into pornography, and got caught up into that world and started working in that field.
Yeah,
right.
It's a dark world.
And there's pitfalls all around us. But like you said, once you get engulfed in it, how do you find your way back to that place of, because some people feel like, well, man, this is serene for me. This is what I love. But I love getting high.
Our uncle.
Yeah.
He
said.
Listen, man. Let me tell you something. Shout out to Uncle Curtis. Me and this dude had several conversations, man. We used to sit in the car, man, and I would take him home, or I think I took him out to eat a few times too. And one day, me and him were just talking, man, and he reflected back to our dad. And he was saying like, yeah, man, your dad is the one who got me started,
got me going.
But then we were talking, and then he said there was a back in the 60s and 70s, people were doing pills, Red Devils and whatever. They were doing pills.
Whites.
But Uncle Curtis, man, he had me crying, man. He was like, he said, man, I used to love Purple Haze. He said, I used to love purple. He said, man, I wish it was out right now. He said, it was a hallucinogen.
Okay.
He said one time
it's like on the line of
listen,
mushrooms.
Man, yeah. He said one time he took it, man, and he thought he was out there in Vietnam. He had the rifle out, Right. He said, but he loved Purple Haze.
Right. Right.
He loved it.
Drug of choice.
He loved it.
And it's ironic because we're so close to those situations, and at times we didn't discuss those situations. We didn't talk about them in detail. They didn't talk about it. But then it became a place of solace because now you can confide in that person and, like you said earlier, get it off your chest.
Yeah.
And then it's educational to learn why that particular addiction or that particular route took you the way it took you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't get an explanation. Not saying that it's all public information, because some things are not supposed to be shared publicly, but I think when you have an outlet that you can talk about, that is the route to recovery.
Yeah.
To be able to say, you know what? Yeah, Cameron, that was you. You did that. Own it. Now make a decision from here.
Yeah, it's funny, when we always have these topics and we start talking about certain topics, other things kind of pop in your head. And just now, about a minute or two ago, our older brother Curtis Mays popped in my head. And, it's so funny. Our brother lost his way at about 11 years old.
Yeah.
And ended up going down through some dark roads and dark paths or whatever, and never really got his way back. And it's so funny because
he was still young when he got the hammer dropped on him. He was only 22.
Yeah, but people don't understand this. People know people probably know the Mays brothers. People don't know that it was four of us. Yeah. A lot of people who grew up with us at the age of 8 and 9, they know.
Of course.
But other people, they have forgotten, and they don't even know that we got an older brother.
Right.
They don't even know. Now, the people who we grew up with in Inglewood, from 8, 9 years old and stuff, now they know, because they asked me this day, man, how's Curtis?
Yeah,
how's Curtis
They were there. They were there.
And they know him.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, how you can lose your way so badly to where you never get a chance to make it back. And I think sometimes it's a choice. I think people have a choice to say, you know what, man, do I want to do better Or do I want to just kind of stay right where I'm at? You know,
Yeah.
I think people have a choice, man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have a choice. Some people may not have a choice. You know, it may be some sort of chemical imbalance and some sort of thing where it just kind of like, hey, you know,
it's not registering.
It's just not, they're not getting it.
Yeah.
And then some people can shake it. You know, shout out to everybody out there that that has had those serious issues and overcame them, especially the drug addiction and the prostitution and things like that. That was really bad. You know, and even shout out to me and you. I mean, we lost our way and we were kind of contributors to some of that negative stuff, and we lost our way.
Yeah.
But we found our way back.
Yeah.
So shout out to me and you as well.
You know, you know, what we lived through and experienced at the age we were at that time and being exposed to that life, bro, it's like a miracle that you and I are sitting here talking about it, because this is stuff that people have probably heard in the movies, on television.
People wouldn't believe it.
They wouldn't believe what we experienced personally. The areas that we went into, the environments that we were a part of, and the contribution we made to a dark life. Man, that was a dark life that, you know, we were a part of. And, you know, without going into a whole lot of detail, thank God we have never taken anybody's life.
Man, I think about it now,
you know,
man, and it scares me.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I think about it now, and I think about that younger me in my early 20s and mid 20s and late 20s, and I think about it, be like, I say to myself, like, nigga, you was crazy. And you too. I be saying to myself, like, man, what was you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, right now, I'm thinking it scares the heck out of me, dude. Seriously.
Does it?
Look, man, our mom, she ain't gonna have no sons.
According to
our lifestyle,
the odds of it.
No, seriously. I mean, if you think about it, man, the odds. She's not supposed to have no sons,
supposed
man.
To bury all four.
Every last one of us.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be here.
Well, we're supposed to.
We're supposed to be here, but what I'm saying is
the odds were against us.
Extremely against
the odds were
us, especially in that era.
Yeah.
Think about how many friends.
Even Pooney.
I know.
I mean, this dude was on the. He was the front line.
Come on, man.
I ain't gonna say on the front line. The dude was the front line.
He was a Raya.
You know what I mean? So
put a Raya on. He was a. I'm telling you, yeah.
So sometimes, man, I used to sit down and I would talk to my ex-wife about my past, and she told me one time. She said, you know, and this is when we only had the boys,
right?
And I talked to her about it so early. I don't even think we had Micah. And then when Micah came, we were having that conversation again, because it was like, yeah, I want to tell them one day.
Right.
So that they'll understand that, number one, their dad is not a perfect man, but also they don't ever have to travel these routes.
Right.
And eventually, as they got older, I had another conversation with my ex-wife, and she asked me to tell them some of the things that I had to experience. And this was more recent, that I sat down with my boys and I told them what to avoid.
Right. The pitfalls.
Yeah, because, you know, they just can't even imagine what's lurking out there. And it's so easy to get into trouble and most difficult to get out of it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, man, I get that when you started to speak to the reality that some things you don't get off of that path.
No,
there's no coming back from.
There's no coming back. And the thing about it is, we all lose our way. Yeah. Every last person who's listening, who's viewing, everybody has lost their way in life to some degree.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of, you know, do I continue this, or do I find my way back to where it's some sort of solace and it's some sort of, you know, complacency that separates me from what I was doing to where I am now.
Yeah.
You know.
So if we are proposing the question to the viewing audience and listening audience, we are saying to them that it's okay to acknowledge where you are, where you've been.
Right.
However, we gotta find the alternate route back to.
You gotta find your way back.
You gotta find your way. So
You gotta
you're
find your way
saying
back.
to us that we can find our way
You
back.
can find your way back. You have to want, okay, for example, let's say you lost
Uh-huh.
and you out in a desert and you looking around you 360 degrees in circumference. You're looking around and and it's nothing but desert.
Mm-hmm.
Then you say, well, damn, I don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
But then somebody just pops up in front of you and say, well, man, look, here's a map.
Right. Or I'm going this way.
Oh.
Which way are you going?
Follow me.
Yeah.
But then you say, nah, I don't want that map. Or, you know what, man, I'm not going to follow you. I'm going to go this way.
Right.
You ain't going to never find your way back. You have to want to find your way back. You have to look at where you are and say, do I enjoy being in this place that I'm at? Or do I want better? Or do I want to, like, you know what, man, I'm tired of being here. I want to go to another side. You have to want it. You have to want it. And like I said, man, we all have fallen short, and we've all lost our way at some point. You know, whether it's our moms, our aunts, our uncles, our friends, our pastors, our teachers.
Yeah.
Everybody's not perfect.
Yeah.
We've all
Falling short. Even the Bible says, we've all fallen short and come, or we've all fallen short to the glory of God. I'm paraphrasing it, but that lets us know that we have human frailty.
Yeah, we all fall short, man. And like I said, some of us are a little more lost than others. Some of us go into a little deeper place than others. But we've all gone there where we've lost our way at some point. Whether it be a small, minute way, or whether it be on a grander scale.
Right.
We've all lost our way.
And it comes back to me. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Yeah, man.
But I think the profound thing is seeing the testimonies. You have a testimony. You have something to share that it's adequate, it's real, it's not a fabricated
It ain't watered
experience.
down.
No, it's not watered down. It's not glorious, but it's the truth.
It's the real deal.
And I think a lot of times people need to find the courage. And hopefully listening to you and them hearing from me will give them some form of courage to say, I'm going to call the number.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out to that person.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop dodging and ignoring the phone calls. I'm going to talk about it. I see so many movies and documentaries on real stuff and how that individual or those individuals overcame those challenges when they finally said, first of all, me. I'm involved. I played a part. Now that I've acknowledged that, can I get some help?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's the reason why people who've lost their way and they've gotten back to the place where they're comfortable, those are the people that make the best speakers.
Yeah.
Whether it be motivational speakers, whether it be pastors, whether it be anybody who is sharing their story or sharing some words of comfort or some words of whatever.
Yeah.
The people who've been somewhere, they make the best speakers, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to nobody who's lived a perfect life. Right. What are you going to tell me?
Right.
Your life has been perfect. My life has been
anything.
bumps and bruises and this, that, and the other in the course of whatever. Right. So you can't tell me anything.
Right. Like, you know, and it's crazy because you're right. A lot of people, and a brother from Philadelphia really, he gave me this profound perception. He said, when he was involved with his first, kid's mother, she always talked about marriage counseling. You know, we need to go to counseling. We need to go. And he was saying, well, I met the lady. She never been married.
See?
She don't want to be married.
See?
Her parents were broken up.
See?
What can she tell us?
It's the truth.
So his thing was, I need somebody that can relate to me.
That's been in my shoes.
I don't need somebody who read a bunch of books and got great grades and mastered a subject from the academic part. Where's the experience? It's just like going out for a job. Half the time, you might have the degrees, you might have even the educational background. They got no experience. They're gonna say, "Well, where did you work?"
Exactly. That's why that's the reason why I love Malcolm X so much, versus Dr. Martin Luther King. Even though I love Dr. Martin Luther King as well, he had a different outlook in life, But Malcolm X, he was in that place. He lost his way, man.
Yeah, he was in prison
on drugs, doing everything you can even imagine,
Yeah,
and the man found his way back and became one of the most prolific, intelligent speakers of our day.
Most prolific mind we've ever been exposed to.
I want to listen to him.
No,
this man's been somewhere. This man has been somewhere. Now he don't have, like you said, he's not reading from a book. He's reading from life experiences and things that he's seen. You know, he saw what his mother had to go through. He saw how the teachers treated him bad and called him that word many times before. So he come on,
because his mother was she was mixed, but her dominant ethnicity was, I think, like from one of the Caribbeans or something.
Yeah, one of the West Indies.
And then she was a beautiful, fair lady who probably could blend in with the Caucasians.
Yeah.
And he saw the dynamic of Jim Crow and the racism at its highest peak. And he was cool. Yeah. He was like, man, none of this is cool.
Man, he was even so profound, and he even learned so much and found his way back to the point where he was really looking at the morals of people. And that's the reason why he left the nation. He looked at what his he looked at what his leader was doing, and it was true. It's all documented what he was doing. Yeah. And Malcolm had found his way back so much to where he said, "How can I follow this man?
Right. Like, as much as I love him,
I can't follow. I mean, what you're doing and what you're preaching. How can I follow you? Right. I gotta go find I gotta go leave this way and go find somewhere else." And that's what he did. Yeah.
Well, he stayed true to the moral principle of his faith.
Yeah.
He was like, regardless to whoever is not, I'm committed.
That's what I'm saying.
To Allah. And I'm committed to the teachings of Allah, not of a man who's not.
He's not practicing what he preached.
Exactly.
He's not practicing what he's preached. He's living this way, and then you over here saying something else. And I was like, man, I can't do this.
I was confronted a few years ago, probably since I've been in ministry, through conversation or otherwise, and it was always this thing where guys would always say, well, hey man, look at her. She's this, she's bad and this and that. And I said, I'm cool, bruh, because that'll have me preaching another gospel.
Yeah.
And it was like, they would laugh. They was like, well, what you talking about? I was like, if I get caught up into that, then what my message will be is null and void, because I'm actually on a whole different doctrine than what I'm supposed to be sharing.
It would be hypocrisy.
It's conflict, man.
It would be hypocrisy.
Yes, it would.
That's what it would be. It would be hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that whatever leader you are, nobody's perfect. We all have our we all lose our way.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, like, oh man, let me get back on track.
Let me get it together.
Right.
Because it's going to be some consequences.
Yeah, let me get it back on track.
No, I got you.
Let me get back on track.
So, as we, come to a close on this subject, the operative word is that we can get back.
If we want to get back.
And some situations are a little more complex because of, chemical imbalances, decisions that proved to be very detrimental, that caused you incarceration for life. And, in other words, it's like, I don't know if that's going to ever be a second chance in society.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you always have another chance. Because I've seen guys that have been interviewed that are in prison for life, who have chosen to educate themselves, learn trades, learn crafts, and even
get
be
their
a
degrees.
voice, get their degrees, be a voice to those on the outside through some program to where they're lending their voice, saying, hey, I'm going to be here, but you don't ever have to come here. So this is the information I'm going to share with you, which I think that's getting back to on the right side of the tracks. You know what I'm saying? Because even though you got life and you'll never come home according to the system,
right?
You said, well, I'm gonna prepare myself so maybe I can educate somebody in the future.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
And they're at peace with that.
Yeah.
Even though they're not free, but they're no longer entangled with the stuff that got them in there. They're teaching. Like that kid. I don't know if you ever heard of this kid. They call him Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
He's incarcerated.
Oh no, he gives stock advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they gave this dude life.
I know. Yeah, he gives
at a young age.
He gives stock advice. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think he's been gone for 30 years now.
For a long time.
And I think he said he went to jail when he was 16 or 15.
They I think he was on 60 Minutes.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
They previewed him on 60 Minutes.
Yeah. And he got all those trading companies.
Yeah.
But it just proves to what you're saying, and it brings, validity there that we can get back on the right track. Mm-hmm. And so, I want to say again, thanks to the sponsors, the Coalesce Group, to Fruit Off the Vine, Clothing Apparel, and to, all of you that are viewing and commenting and following us on these social media platforms. We want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to lend our voice, and we're always open for suggestions, and we encourage you to place something in the comments so that we can gather information, and be able to have further dialogue concerning these matters. So I'm going to throw it to Charlie Mack, let him close us out. But again, it's always great to be in the studio with him, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Okay, just in closing, guys, I just want to shout out to my brother Curtis Mays, who lost his way. Hopefully he's gonna find his way back. I want to shout out to Tony Davenport. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And he lost his way a few times. He keeps going back and forth, but we love you. And and I want to shout out to my aunts. They know who they are. I'm not gonna say their names, but they lost their way, and I'm glad that they're back. And
can't forget Stace Bowles.
Got a shout out to my boy Bozeman. Love you to death, Bowles. But anyway, guys, we love you. Thanks for finding your way back. You guys are examples of us talking about losing your way and then finding your way back. So thank you, and take the seatbelts off, guys. The car didn't stop. We see you guys next time. Much love. Peace.
Peace.